Hi everyone, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. Thank you for joining me today. I just wanted to tell a quick story about my reaction to the events that took place in Orlando um, because I thought it was rather interesting. So, thinking I'm some, super great mother, I decided to tell my 10-year-old son about what happened because he usually hears about things on the bus anyway, like the Sandy Hook shooting when he was in first grade. Um, of course, when I told him about what happened at Pulse, he had not heard of it, but that's okay. Um, so I told him what happened and thinking, what a great teaching moment. And, we're very open about talking about who people love and that you can love anyone you want and that men marry men and women marry women and people identify with certain genders and all that stuff is freely talked about and not anything different or unusual in our house because I think it's really important for him to be authentic with who he is, whoever that, whatever, wherever he lands in his life. I want him to know that he will always be loved and welcomed. So I told him what happened, and no sooner was I, Mother of the Year award doing this amazing teaching uh, event that I was capitalizing on that I found myself saying, you know, I have trouble with the death penalty, but, if this guy hadn't died, they should, to my 10-year-old, I said this, they should string him up by his balls and he should be tortured to death. Forget this trying to humanely, put people to death. And I kind of looked at my son and he had this very nice but not condescending, but this look on his face, the way you would approach a 5-year-old, for example, and very kindly explained to me that trying to teach people that it's not okay to kill other people by killing them does not make any sense. Um, and it was scary how fast I went there, and it's that sort of cycle of abuse, that cycle of events, that fueling of hatred, that cyclical fueling of hatred that has us in the that's has humanity where we are with these horrible trying to force people to be the way we want them to be because we're not comfortable for whatever reason, and in my opinion can't mind our own business because it doesn't have anything to do with us, and focus on coming together and not, which is interesting, the Two of Cups. I started crying, so I had to restart the video because I didn't want to just be bawling here on camera. So the cards had already come out, but just to be really mindful of our thoughts and focus on positive. I know that's stupid to say, but not fueling the hate like I went to so very quickly in front of my 10-year-old. I joked he had just finished school. I said, "You may have finished school, but I was the one that was schooled today." Um, yeah, so that's sort of one of those hierophant stories where you never know where you're going to, where spiritual messages are going to come in, and that one came in through a 10-year-old boy who so very quickly saw through um, my quickly spiraling out of control reaction to those events. So I just want to reiterate that anyone, regardless of your sexual orientation, gender identity, how you look, as long as you come here with love in your heart and chase away the hate as much as possible, you're welcome at my channel. So thanks for being here. All right, let's get on to the reading. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles, and this is a little bit, interestingly, this is a little bit of that mentality of where I went with my sort of negativity and my hatred, and how to deal with negative things. Do we fuel that negative fire? So this is like a poverty consciousness, like no one's there to help me. I feel excluded. It's interesting. I just really, there are kind of two generations in this version of the card. It's sort of like repeating the mistakes of our ancestors. We can either learn from them and get our wisdom from them, or we can repeat the mistakes and to try to learn from our mistakes and do better the next time instead of repeating the same habits. So there is light behind this tree, and there is support spiritually, and we just need to look for it or ask for it. If we just peeked around that tree, we would see the light. We'd see things more clearly. We would get out of our fog of lack and feeling left out in the cold. There are people and warmth to help us if we just ask for it, or look around or focus on the positive and not the negative. And I don't usually get messages like this, but I feel, it's interesting. They're in water here, which I never noticed. So there's a lot of emotions. We're really in our emotions. We're all connected. There's these lines coming, these strings, these cords connecting everyone in this deck, and we're all connected, and not to forget that. And things like that happen at Pulse happens to all of us, and we're not separate, and we all need to do our part. And the simplest thing, it's not simple to do, but the easiest way to help in situations is like this is to try to be supportive and inclusive, and not focusing on the hate and the lack, and looking for the good and the positive, and accepting of people, but to realize we all are connected and we're not alone, and we can reach out for help. And when we are able to open up to the help that is available, we may just not be seeing it, then we welcome in this beautiful Two of Cups. I mean, this energy is amazing. This is emotional affinity, soulmates, if you like to use that word. Not necessarily romantic, but this is a romantic partnership, and one that can potentially be a lifelong partnership, mutually emotionally supportive of each other, coming together to form something new. So this could be a new love, a new job, a new partnership, a new friendship, just solidarity, coming together and feeling supportive. So it's really sort of the opposite feeling of this card, where we feel left out in the cold and alone. And this is the opposite. This is feeling supported and connected. And I think it's about just a shift in our mindset and how we're looking at things, and it can bring in this beautiful energy. Interesting. And then we have the World card. We're all connected. What happens to one person happens to all of us, because humanity we're all in this together. We're all on this world together. And so thinking that there is separateness is false, because we're all connected. Now, this also is about, the World card is about culmination, milestones, things coming full circle. So with the Two of Cups on the table, I can see things like either meeting someone, or deciding to move your relationship to the next level. So that moving in together or getting engaged or getting married, having an anniversary, having children, having your children graduate, having your children themselves get married, any sort of milestones where you come full circle. And it's a wonderful accomplishment when it happens. Getting a raise, getting a new job, getting a new house, anything like that. But then you're sort of like, okay, I've accomplished that. Now what? So it's this interesting dichotomy. It's sort of like you accomplish one thing and then you're a newbie again, and you think, okay, where do I go from here? So make sure you don't let that sort of feeling discourage you, and just knowing that that's natural process and cycle. It's like you hit one goal and that's great, but then be excited about where you're going to go from there, and not let it feel like a letdown, because you're supposed to then always be moving on and to the next milestone. Like that's the way it is. It's not a bad thing to feel kind of like, oh, where am I going to go from here? Try to be excited about it. So some of you may have some really beautiful connections this week. And so anyone new that comes into your life, or if a relationship sort of shifts in some way, that may be the start of something really beautiful to come, that may result in these sort of milestones in the future, if not right now. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a really lovely week, and take care.